Our minds are incredible tools capable of creating and loving. They're also deadly weapons capable of destroying and hating. When it comes to beauty, this is a bit of a double-edged sword. Brains can work for us or against us, depending on how we treat them over time. Unfortunately, most people don't actually water their minds in the right ways over time. One symptom of this is a terrible self-image. We talk negatively about ourselves. We feel like imposters and think we're extremely unattractive. Many people can't even look at themselves in the mirror because they're terrified of what they might find. They hate the way they look and how they carry themselves every day. But is beauty actually in the eye of the beholder? Are we what we really think we are? There's a brilliant commercial I'd like to talk about today that reveals a fascinating truth about our self-image in the world of psychology. Many years ago, there was this Dove commercial where people would come in and sit behind this curtain and be asked questions by a guy sitting behind the curtain. As the interviews went on, the participants could tell that they were being drawn by the interviewer. It turns out that he's a sketch artist and he was drawing them as best he could based on their own descriptions of themselves.
It kind of protrudes a little bit.
My mom told me I had a big jaw.
I kind of have a fat, rounder face. I would say I have a pretty big forehead.
Once I get a sketch, I say thank you very much, and then they leave. I don't see them.
After those interviews where people described themselves, others who met those participants came in and then described those same people to the sketch artist, but from their perspective this time.
She was thin, so you could see her cheekbones. And her
She had nice eyes. They lit up when she spoke.
Cute nose.
She had blue eyes, very nice blue eyes.
The finalized sketches were then hung side by side for participants to see how their descriptions of themselves differed from those who described them. The pictures where people described themselves were much more unattractive than the pictures where other people described them. So what can we learn here? The message is that you're much more beautiful than you think you are. In a world where social media constantly shows us the biggest, brightest, richest, and most beautiful things, it can be extremely difficult to feel good about ourselves and take a deeper dive into what's going on here. Our minds start playing tricks on us and we have horrible self-talk. We say very mean things to ourselves and we start to believe the very hate that we push on ourselves. Our minds tell us that there's always someone prettier, there's always someone more handsome, stronger, smarter, richer, whatever. The more poorly we talk about ourselves over time, your brain actually starts forming neural connections around these thought patterns. Every single time you say and think those things, you gotta stop yourself and catch it in the act. Bring awareness to it every single time. Ask yourself what emotions you feel from doing that. Let me know in the comments if you struggle with negative self-talk. For those of you that are new here, my name's Jeff and my goal is to make psychology make sense. Thanks for hanging out. In addition to that, consider the Dove commercial and this video every time these things come up. So many people see you in such a beautiful way and you just don't agree with them. We're always so busy paying attention to everybody else's lives that we forget to pay attention to our own. Bring yourself to the present moment and ask how these things serve you. Think about how they make you feel and how they literally change your brain to make you feel less than. If you talk to your friends the same way that you talk to yourself, would you still have friends? The world is extremely unfair. We all have flaws. We're all imperfect, but that's the beautiful part of life. We also have our own gifts. We all have our own beauty. Everyone has something so wonderful to offer and show the world, and we don't talk about this enough. We don't remind others of this often enough. If you don't see it, you aren't looking hard enough. One of the best ways to feel good is to do good. Tell someone you know something you actually appreciate about them. Call someone up and tell them how much you care about having them in your life. Text someone a sweet compliment. It takes 1 second to make someone's day, and Dove provided us with a wonderful message that you are much more beautiful than you think. If you're interested in other topics in psychology, be sure to check out my last video on a goal-setting visualization exercise. Maybe you could use it to set some goals around being nicer to yourself. So for all things psychology to help you think, feel, and perform better, stay tuned right here on Psychology of Living.